Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get Better, a show about two longtime friends trying their best, growing up, and hopefully getting better. I'm Zach Johnson.
And despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. How are you doing, Zach?
Doing well. I'm interested. How is summer, Sam? It's like kind
great.
of the ramp up to it. It is like the weather is getting nicer. Like we're
I went to trivia
about
last
to
night.
be.
It was fantastic.
Oh my gosh! Are you wearing a fun shirt?
No, why would I wear a fun shirt?
I don't know, man. It just seems like going to trivia. That seems like a fun shirt occasion.
No. No, I guess maybe, but no. No, I love trivia, and we haven't been in like a year, obviously, because the world ended. But the new world has dawned, and I went back to trivia.
Oh no, it's the New World Order.
It is the new world. It's 1984.
I knew it.
Yeah, so it's
gosh.
freaking great.
No
I don't
wonder
know if
Jay-Z's
you've
been
seen,
trying to call me.
Our new problematic fave, Chet Hanks, and his White Boy Summer music video, but it's White Boy Summer, and
I have not seen Chet Hanks's White Boy Summer video.
Yeah, it's
about damn time.
Wild. It's pretty wild. He just started saying, I don't really know the full origin of this, but Chet Hanks just started saying it's White Boy Summer.
Oh, Chet Hanks.
Chet Hanks, Tom Hanks' son.
Oh,
said it was White Boy Summer, and it caught on as like a funny thing for like a week. But then he came out with a new song called White Boy Summer with a video. The song is not good.
Okay.
He also spells Hanks with an
And
X. In case you didn't know, maybe he was Tom Hanks' son. I don't know why. Maybe because he's rapping. I don't know.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. He, I'm sure, is like I said, a problematic fave, but I don't know that yet. So right now, it's just funny and it's White Boy Summer. So Summer Sam, he came out at the right time because you know what? It's White Boy Summer.
You are a white boy.
I'm a white boy.
You are a white boy. It will. They will never get you for that. They can never possibly cancel you.
If I'm one thing, it's real, and I'm a white boy, so I'm excited.
Yeah,
it's been good. How are you? Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that I'm very excited because and this is this is a big recommendation station.
Space Jam 2.
But Sam and I's recommendation station has stayed pretty consistent this entire time, which is recommendation station is to not be weird.
Don't be weird.
Don't be weird,
guys. This summer, don't be weird.
Yeah, this summer, even if it is White Boy Summer, just don't be weird. That's weird, like the most. That's the most important thing. So you and I have, you rather are taking to that in a bigger way than me. I still have yet to find out what my don't be weird is going to be.
Well, mine was pretty obvious because I talked about the CIA and QAnon pretty much every day for like 8 months. So, pretty easy to turn that switch off. Now I have gone back. I'm still trying to navigate because I have now gone back. I've been reading my books about Second Temple Judaism.
Okay.
And now I'm telling people about Judaism again. And that was my previous weird thing where I would just tell people about ancient Judaism. And then I moved away and didn't know anybody, and so I didn't have anyone to talk to about Judaism, but now I have friends. You see, it's this whole thing. And so now they're fairly unaware.
It's
like, they have not heard any of this. It's like as if, you cut away. I'm trying to think of what the. It's like if you took the rotten boards out of a house. Like it's framed up, and you take the rotten boards out. You gotta put new boards in there. All right, you can't just take the rotten boards out. But how many boards do you take out before it's like it's not the same house anymore? That's not really my concern. More my concern is like, okay, remove all the talking about the CIA. But replace those. But replace it, because otherwise you have a big Second Temple-sized hole in your conversational skills, and no one cares, which is fair, and I understand that. Yeah, it is like the I'm not like other girls version of you talking about like World War II a lot, or ancient Rome. Like Roman history. Yeah. I talk about World War I, but it's not. I don't think it's a good conversational skills.
Wait, was it you that was trying to do a map of trying to like learn all of the things, like learn the entire geography of the world? Or was that someone else that I know? That sounds like a you thing.
It does. In high school, I did learn every country, like where the name and place of every country.
By knowing the bordering countries, right?
Oh, that was a game we were going to play. I already knew it from just knowing it. But no, that was a game that we had talked about where you would pick a country at random, and then the next person had to say a country that bordered it, and you would go around until you either duplicated countries, couldn't think of one, or hit the like ocean. Like if you said, if your last option was Russia, and then it was like you had picked all the bordering countries, it was like, well, that's it.
That is a game that sounds like something that would be written into a show where a character meets, like a rich family, or like it's like a character is meeting their like girlfriend's parents and goes like, well, me and Sarah play a very fun game where we name a country.
Well, see, there's always,
and then it's like, and then the boy, it's like, it would be seen as comical because who in the hell would play a game like that?
Now, we never played this. This was the thing that you and I had talked about.
But
also, you can always give it a little flavor with drinking and screaming. Because if you're drinking and yelling at each other while you're doing it, I feel like it has a less stuffy, waspy flavor to it. This is not a game we ever played. You were trying to remember something. I'm telling you what it is that you were trying to remember.
Yeah, we tried a good bit of drinking games back in the day.
Yeah.
I still have yet to. We still need to do a reunion tour of top five celebrity crushes.
Oh, we play it a lot. I mean, we don't live in the same city, but I have played with the twins and lots of other people. I have introduced top five celebrity crushes. Oh yeah, I've played a bunch of times.
Well, all right, fine. Maybe I just need to. You
need to hang out with me with your friends, and then I will teach everyone top five celebrity crushes, and then you can just play it in Louisville.
Yeah. That's I haven't been able to play it for the last year because of obvious reasons, and I feel like
and the 4 years prior, because
I'll have to rebuild my social capital because bumping into it's like. If I came back, it's like, what's up, guys? It's me. Your boy is back, and I have a drinking game for everyone.
They'd be like, summer. Let's play top five celebrity crushes.
And they'd be like, so Zach kind of bit of a hard time with
but that's why
with the lockdowns, huh?
That's why you need a friend like me. That is the role that I play in the group. Is like
exactly. You play. Yeah, you are functionally for right now like. An uncle type character.
I have a lot of uncle energy. I am an actual uncle. You know, my brother had a kid. It's so important to the show. My brother had a kid. I'm an actual uncle now. But I bring a lot of uncle energy.
You've had a lot of uncle energy prior to.
Yeah, especially Summer Sam. When it gets warm outside and I can take my shirt off, it's fucking uncle time. Like it's not fucking uncle time, but it's fucking uncle time. So that is what, the other day I was at trivia, I was talking to my friends, and we were bullshitting about something, and it came up, they were talking about, we got on the subject, and I was talking to them, I was telling this girl who had never heard of it about Sonic OCs, like Sonic original characters.
Okay.
And she was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's like, all right, let me break this down. And then she started kind of making fun of me, where she was like, oh, this is what you're into. And I looked at her and said, look, if next time you want to come up with all the jokes, fine. But like, I am here to bring the weird shit that we can all laugh at and talk about.
Yeah.
If you want to bring it up,
listen, we can only quote The Office for so long before like we have to like something like. Yeah, someone's gonna have to take the fall, and I guess it's gonna be me.
Yeah,
and like, if that means by the end of this conversation I'm interesting, then like, hell yeah, like you're welcome.
Well, and like, what was it? A week before that, we were at a bar, and it was the same group of people, and we started talking about juggalos, and she had never heard of juggalos, and then she's like, "So that's what you're like, a juggalo?" I was like, "No, I'm not a juggalo. I just know." And she said, how do you know what juggalos are? I was like, I don't know. I'm too online. I don't know.
Exist. Yeah. Like
I'm too on. Well, actually, it was funny is I knew a girl who was a juggalo in high school. So I remember she was doing the thing to me where we were sitting in class and she was explaining to me the cosmology of the juggalos, where she's like, well, they have these different gods. They're kind of deity figures. I don't really know.
Oh man, I need to see like a breakdown video of the Juggalos.
There's like 7 of them.
Actually, can you do a brief explainer? Let's do. Hey everybody, welcome back.
Welcome
back to
to
Juggalo Explainer.
Juggalo Explainer. I don't have a problem with Juggalos. I feel like they get a lot.
No,
of
I had
crap.
no, and this it's big disclaimer. Say what you will about the Juggalos and their the way they dress and the way that they like act, but from my experience of what I've seen of them on like online or just like stories about them, they have a very strict like no hate policy, like a very like intense like acceptance and love and like building up the community. It reminds me a good deal of in Louisville. There is was rather, but they're probably going to come back. There's a pretty prominent hardcore scene, and the hardcore scene, I met a couple of people from it, which is just like, like really intense punk rock music. But all of them are like really involved in community outreach projects. And like a fair bit of them are like also firefighters, because the tenets of their like beliefs are to like community betterment is like the highest thing you could possibly be doing. So it like the Juggalos kind of remind me of that same sort of like sector of like just being really, really rad, but are incredibly intense.
Yes, and I'm glad you explained that because I had to do a bunch of Googling to find out what these people are, what this is called.
So
I think
all of this having been said, if you are judging the Juggalos based on how they act, then you could never be a Juggalo. Well, one, because you're judging them on how they act, and that would probably, you wouldn't want to be a Juggalo. But, maybe you need to take some internal, like, stock.
Yes,
and be like, wow.
it. I knew there was going to be an image that gave me all their names.
And for those in the audience that I feel like we're kind of blowing past this. A Juggalo is someone who is a fan of the Insane Clown Posse. The Insane Clown Posse makes music. From what I've been told,
they make like rap music.
They make kind of new metal, a la Limp Bizkit, like a worse form of like whatever like Linkin Park was doing.
Sure.
And they gained a lot of prominence for a one line from their song called Miracles, where one of them says, "Magnets, how do they work?"
Well, I feel like what gives ICP, the Insane Clown Posse, I don't know if you said this. What the reason everybody like knows the Juggalos, who are like the people who listen to their music, is they paint their face like clowns, like black and white clown makeup. Which is
and they
striking.
have this like tattoo. I think it's called like the Hatchet Man or something. Yeah. Oh man, I pulled that from the ether of my brain.
So here's the thing. There is this. I'm gonna butcher a lot of this, and so I'm actually gonna keep this brief so that I don't. Oh
wow! I just found a Hatchet Man necklace for $14.
Wow.
That is going into the cart.
So I believe that the broad mythology of the Juggalos is called the Dark Carnival. Just reading from the fandom Wikipedia, Dark Carnival is the fictional mythology of the concept album series used in much of the Insane Clown Posse discography. Okay. In it is a concept of the afterlife, blah, 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 purgatory, whatever. This gets to the thing that this girl was explaining to me. These concepts are related by Insane Clown Posse in a series of albums called the 6 Joker cards. And these are the entities of the ICP world, I believe. So the first one is the Carnival of Carnage, and they all kind of look like those like drama masks.
Holy shit! These guys are putting out work.
Yeah. So those like happy or sad like drama masks. They all kind of look like that, but they're a little bit clownish. Anyway, I can't read all of it because after Carnival of Carnage, it's like, this is a representation of the violence that takes place in the ghettos and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, oh, this is very deep. But there's the Ringmaster, the Riddle Box, the Great Malenko, Jake Jekyll, and Jack Jekyll, and then the Wraith or Wrath. Nope, that's Wraith. Anyway, there are these like mythological characters that have all this like meaning and symbology, and I think there's maybe one per album. I don't know. Jake and Jack Jekyll are probably on the same album. I don't know. I'm actually, again, I don't know if it's one per album. I have no idea. But they're the 7 Joker cards for the deck of something. I don't know.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, I found your Wikipedia. This is pretty wild.
Regardless, that's what this girl explained to me one day. She was going to get a Hatchet Man tattoo. So this isn't an episode of Reality Check, but have you ever seen the reality television show Ink Masters?
No, I haven't.
It is
I think I'm vaguely aware of it. It's just like, is it like a tattoo? It's like a tattoo show a la the style of like any of those competitive like cake shows.
Yeah, it's a competition. It's a competition reality show, which is my favorite kind of reality show and maybe my favorite kind of show. I was talking to Sophie the other day about how like
dude,
legitimately
you can throw Breaking Bad directly in the garbage can because I'm watching Ink Masters.
I watch so much competition reality. I like prestige television and
oh wow, it's called Hatchetopedia. Anyway, continue.
And competition reality shows. Anyway, so the Hatchet Man. So on Ink Masters, I think it's season 1, episode 1. They do cover up week where everyone has tattoos that they want to get rid of, and the artists have to cover up those tattoos, and that's the challenge. That's the elimination tattoo. Mm-hmm. And this girl had a Hatchet Man on the back of her neck.
Oh, yes.
Back of her neck. What was wild is they approve the ideas, and they like come up with the idea, or they help come up with the idea. They're like, oh, this is what I want to cover up. This is kind of what I'm thinking. It's not cover ups every week, but they usually come in with an idea.
She wanted a bigger Hatchet Man.
No, what she wanted, or what she got, was a giant eyeball. Like an eyeball that covered the like width, and like you think of like where a normal hairline is. Like it was the whole back of her neck.
Mm-hmm.
And while I understand someone maybe not wanting to have a Juggalo tattoo anymore, I feel like they have a good enough reputation that whoever's shunning you for your Juggalo tattoo is going to shun you for your giant eyeball tattoo. Neither of those people are me, but I'm just saying, like, whoever's going to see a Juggalo tattoo and be like, those people, not for me. And now maybe that wasn't the motivation. Maybe the motivation was like, well, I'm just not into ICP anymore, so I just don't want this Juggalo tattoo. Cover it up with whatever, because it's not a question of like being shunned. It's just a matter of, well, I don't want this ICP tattoo anymore. But anyway, it made me think of that. And so the girl in high school who explained to me all about the Dark Carnival and the Gathering and all of that, she was going to get a Juggalo tattoo. Are you aware of the Gathering?
I am aware that the Gathering, is that a yearly thing, or is that kind of like, oh, so it is a yearly thing. So I think I was on the fence of either it was a yearly thing or it was a kind of
Stars Align.
like a Deadhead thing. Like literally any time the Grateful Dead is doing a concert is the Gathering.
No, it is an event. I believe it's in Ohio. It feels like it's in Ohio. Yeah, well,
yeah, and that's no shade to Insane Clown Posse,
but it is shade to Ohio. Actually, it is shade to Insane Clown Posse because they're going to Ohio.
That's true.
But anyway, so they have like a big music festival concert thing every year called The Gathering. It's called The Gathering of the Juggalos. And the weirdest thing about the Insane Clown Posse to me is they have an affinity for the soda Faygo.
Okay.
That's it. That's the whole sentence. They're just really into Faygo for some reason.
What's Faygo?
Faygo is like a soda. It's like an off-brand small-time soda.
Oh, that's
like
really
Orange
funny.
Faygo instead of having like Orange Crush.
Oh, there's a song called Blueberry Faygo, and I had no idea what he was talking about. I was just like, yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, no, Faygo is like a soda, which I had before. Like I just had got it at the store or whatever. Like I'd had Faygo, but I think my parents bought it for a couple of weeks for some reason because we never had soda in our house. But I remember distinctly we had Faygo.
That's a pretty Ohio thing to do.
Well, I didn't grow up in Ohio, but sure, yes, it's very Ohio.
And yeah, no, but like, yeah, to have like, they're just like, hey,
This off-brand soda.
one of our tenants is like, is also Faygo.
It is. No, it really is. Like, and like, you will see videos of the gathering where they're all spraying each other with Faygo. Like, it's incredible. I would say, of everything about the Insane Clown Posse, it's like number 1, the clown makeup. Number 2, Faygo. Everything else, pretty normal. Like, honestly, those 2 things are the only. I mean, yeah, they have like a weird mythology or whatever, but like, I don't know. Just wait till they make a Last Supper with the My Pillow guy in it. You know what I mean? I'm saying, like, other people are plenty weird enough.
I don't know. I don't know exactly. That's an interesting.
The Juggalos mythology is not that weird.
No. It's not that weird. But now I'm thinking, like, what might be the relationship with, like, the alt-right? But then again, we can't get into that because I'm trying to be normal. And I'm not going to speak for 2 groups that I know very little about.
Not a part of either. I will say, no, well, so I do know a little bit about that. They are not a part of the alt-right. They're weird. I would not say they're progressive. But
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would think that you would see them and go like, oh, you guys are,
You know how a couple of weeks ago we talked.
I found a Rolling Stones article. Called "Why Juggalos Are Marching on Washington."
Yes, that's what I was going to tell you about.
Some worry the march will be a battle with the alt-right, but the fans of Insane Clown Posse say they're fighting for their rights, not against Trump, which is, not exactly the sentence you want to hear. But I mean, like, their ideology is such that they're very anti-hate and wanting. So you'd think that these people would find themselves more on like the Antifa side rather than like the alt-hype side.
I think so. Remember how we talked about weeks and weeks ago how like the young Republicans will like digivolve into these. Maybe we cut this from the show, but we had a bit where we were talking about how like young college Republicans have a sort of, digivolving where they either become like, they could become like a Boogaloo boy, or they could become just like your manager, or they could become like a different kind of alt-right weirdo, or you know what I'm saying, or like a tradcath. Like there's this weird, or like frat boy. Like there's these just divergent paths.
You could become like like once you go down the pipeline, it's almost like you are given we promised it wouldn't be weird. You are given you're like Eevee, like from Pokemon.
Now, see,
and you're given
we did cut this. Yes, you did say this already.
Oh, I did. And I was like, you're given a stone, which is like the water stone, the lightning stone, the fire stone. And then it's like, you could either be the intellectual alt-righter. You could be the one wearing the friggin' like Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah.
Or you could be, just like a boss with just absolutely zero couth.
With no empathy. No. So something interesting about the Juggalos is they seem to be, and I don't want to give them too much credit because I really don't know, but they seem to be a kind of siphon out of that system. Because a lot of this, what we're talking about, like whether it's Boogaloo Boys or Ben Shapiro nerds, is like disaffected white men who no longer feel they have a place in the world because we gave all the factories away. And like, not everybody can work in an office, and most offices are stupid. And so like there's a whole bunch of like angry white male energy that's just like, I'm not doing the right thing. They're all being weird because they're not like fixing cars or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's just angry white male energy that has nowhere to go. And so often it gets siphoned into these fucking dork parades like Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder. But the Juggalos give a different outlet where angry white men can just sort of go over here, be Juggalos, drink Faygo or whatever, but they're not a part of like the neo-Nazi pipeline, right?
Interesting. So you're saying that like it's almost like it is,
it's a siphon.
And it is. Yeah, it's a so like it's like imagine like a pipeline, and they're like a needle that just jams right into it and saves them.
So the reason they were marching on Washington is because someone, although I do not remember who, I might be getting these details wrong, but they were labeled as a hate group. I don't think it's the ACLU or the Anti-Defamation League. I don't remember. Someone labeled them a hate group, and they were very upset about this because they're like, we're weird, mostly white men, but we're not a hate group at all. Like, there's nothing hateful about what we do. And they're very, very upset about this term as being called a hate group. And so they were marching on Washington to protest this as a protest to their designation. I think either on purpose or on accident, it was planned the exact same day as a second Unite the Right. I'm going to get some of these details wrong. So just look it up yourself. But I believe it was after the Charlottesville thing. This was it was either right before or right after. There was another Unite the Right rally in D.C. where they were marching on D.C. And so it was this big confluence where it's like, oh, the Juggalos are going to fight the Nazis. Because the Juggalos are not Nazis at all.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like they're kind of a siphon off that pipeline. But the Nazis are Nazis. And so the Nazis were having, or the alt-right, whatever, were having a rally. And the Juggalos were having a rally the same day. And so everyone was like, yeah, like you said, the Antifa thing, like, and again, Juggalos will beat the shit out of you. So it was like, oh, they're gonna fight these dudes. And I think it all fizzled out and was fine. There was plenty of like security and stuff. And so nothing ever happened. But that's why they were marching on Washington, is because they were designated a hate group. But it happened to be the same day as the alt-right. So they were like gonna come to blows with the,
oh man. That's a good way to get yourself not labeled as a hate group.
It's a great way for everyone to have some affinity for you. Just be like, you know what? Actually, you guys are fine. Drink your Faygo. Do whatever.
It's like, actually, those guys are pretty rad.
You're
as
fighting
it
Nazis?
turns out.
That's fine with me.
Cool. Clown makeup. I do not give a shit.
Yeah. It's not for me.
You got it, brother.
I don't want to drink Faygo and wear clown makeup, but like, I'm happy you're happy. And
yeah. So
again,
and
no
then
smoke from me. Like, that's fine.
Yeah, and when the humans have to unite all their armies, we will be calling upon the Juggalo army to.
Yeah. It's like that scene
fight
in Black Panther where they have to go to the guys who ride the rhinos, and they're like, "We need your help." It's that, but instead of the rhino people, it's us talking to the Juggalos, and we're like, "Look. We're just a bunch of pencil neck nerds who have read Marx. We need your you're the only people that can throw punches. We need your help."
Yeah. We need some muscle.
I can tell you all about Frederick Engels, but I need you to throw a punch. Is that cool?
Yeah. Or maybe teach me how to.
Or teach me how to throw a punch.
I got this replica crossbow off of Etsy. It's like Legolas's. So
would you like to hear about my half elf rogue? While you teach
honestly,
me
they'd probably be like, "Hell yeah, brother!"
Yeah, I'm sure there's some D&D Juggalo crossover. Again, they're just like normal people, but
yeah, exactly.
But they wear clown makeup and drink Faygo, so it's a thing that comes up. I mean, that's the thing is, I feel like on one hand, they probably get really tired of being like an oddity that people on podcasts talk about. But on the other hand, you drink Faygo and wear clown makeup, you're kind of asking to be talked about.
Yeah. But also, we are.
Like, we're fine.
We think they're rad. So
yeah, there are worse things to be. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
Doesn't bother
me. Yeah. Absolutely. I completely.
And so this was the conversation I brought to my friends at the bar, because it's a weird thing in the world, and I just learned about it from the world.
Yeah, exactly. Just being aware online, you just find these sort of things.
Online.
I mean, yeah, when you're too online, or you kind of have this sort of bent that you and I have, which is an almost internet historian sort of thing.
Sure.
Where like all of the podcasts, or like all of like even something to the degree of like, it's almost like an even like less social. It's like, like TLC will just be like, look at this. And it's like something that's like,
don't go chasing waterfalls.
Yeah. No, I'm referring explicitly to the Learning Channel, where it's like, hey, these guys have 18 kids. What do you think of that? It's just
Pretty
like
crazy, huh?
thank you.
Thanks.
It's like so. These twins are attached to the neck.
No,
That's
they're attached to the hip.
that's no.
You know
Well,
those
no,
two girls
they're-
are both married to two different men.
Yes, that is.
Amanda
I think I think
and-
we talked about this, and once again, I have absolutely no place to say anything other than like, that must be challenging.
Well, they're
That-
both
that-
teachers, which seems wild because it feels like only one of them needed to go to school for that. I'm not trying to make fun of them, but they're literally attached at the waist, so it feels like they both didn't need a teaching degree, huh?
Yeah. But I mean, it's good. It's good
guess.
that both of them, they took this.
Well,
they,
you know
they
what?
took the
I
same
said
classes.
that, but it's like, yeah, it's not like one of them can go to class and the other not, so they might as well both get the degree. They both have to go to the class.
Yeah. There's this one thing I saw recently where it's like a set of twins married another set of twins, and they got engaged on the same day and married on the same day, and they're hoping they live in the same house.
Oh,
and they
I saw,
want to get
that's the guy. Yeah, the guy did the video on that.
yeah Eddie Burback.
Yeah.
Shout out to Eddie.
Abby
yeah.
and Brittany. That's who it is.
Yeah, and so, but basically, yeah, like TLC makes these sort of like, look at that, huh? And then like suburban moms will be like, yep, thank you. And we are just the late 20s version of that, where the internet is just showing us all these things, and
True.
we're just like, cool, thanks.
Let me actually take that back. They are not attached to the hip. They are attached at the
At the body, at the whole ass body.
body. It's just one body and two heads.
Yeah.
Abby and Brittany. Yeah, they did. I watched a special on them in this is the two of them, and they're in one swimsuit and they have two heads. They had a special, I think, on TLC, and I watched
No, yeah,
their whole deal. John Green owns more books on conjoined twins than there are living conjoined twins.
okay.
He owns like 6 books on conjoined twins because every time there's a set of conjoined twins, someone writes a book about it. He
goes right to he's making some sort of library.
Yeah. So he only has like 6 books, but it's just such a rare thing that he owns more books on conjoined twins than there are living conjoined twins.
Oh, yeah, I get, yeah. I guess you're right. But anyway,
Abby and Brittany.
so yeah. So we are the version of that where, because sometimes people are just like, how do you know this? And it's just like, just by being like on the line, people like,
the way
you're just
anyone knows anything.
you're scrolling through the Twitter, and someone's like, get a load of this.
I think that's an outdated question. How do you know this? Because I feel like when you were in school, I would get that, right? But it'd be like, how do you know this? Oh, I took a class on yada yada. But like now, it's like, I'm 28. How do I know this? I don't know how I fucking, you want to hear this, my schedule of the day I learned that? I have no idea how I know that. I just know it.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a life almost 3 decades in the making.
Yeah, because there's stuff where it's like, oh yeah, how do I know about Rome? Oh, I listened to this Rome history podcast. But like, how do you know about? And I remember how I know about Abby and Brittany. But how do I know about the Juggalos? I don't know. It wasn't exclusively from a girl in high school. It's just like,
yeah, they're just around.
Or the camel corps, that came up the other day.
Yeah.
How do I know about that? I was just on Wikipedia. What do you want from me? I didn't take a class on.
Exactly. It's like I know about this the same way I know about Hootie and the Blowfish, which is I know that Darius Rucker exists, and
right.
What I'm about to tell. Like I didn't major in the camel corps. All right. Like
or Jefferson Davis. I just happen to know about these things.
Yeah, no, so what that's kind of interesting. The U.S. Camel Corps is, I don't know if you talked about it on the show.
No, maybe.
The U.S. Camel Corps is this, I believe it was in Egypt. It must have been. Norway, wherever it was.
It was in America.
I was in America, so they must have shipped them.
Yes.
It was, or I don't know if they shipped, it was a plan, but it was to get camels instead of horses because riding them is like way better than horses
because they can go for further without as much water. So going around the American Southwest right before the Civil War, so 1850s or whatever.
Yeah,
there were actually reports from the Department of Defense that was like, it was called the Department of War at the time. The Department of War that was like, oh, they outpace all of our mules and all of our donkeys and all of our horses. Like, they're way better. And so they wanted to start using in the Southwest because, of course, they didn't know cars were going to be invented in about 30 years. So they were like, we need to start using these instead of horses to get around the Southwest. Unfortunately, the program was headed by big dumb fuck Jefferson Davis, who went on and did start the Civil War. So he was kind of persona non grata. Also, I think the president at the time was Pierce, real dog shit president. So
Pierce Brosnan, who later went on to do some stuff with Batman or some stuff with James Bond.
It would be better if it was Pierce Brosnan. Unfortunately, it was Franklin Pierce. So Franklin Pierce and Jefferson Davis, kind of the dipshit duo of presidents. Anyway, so Jefferson Davis was the Secretary of War, but then when he, started the Confederacy, they decided maybe to scrap his plan. And also they had to focus on the war and all. But I think it was Pierce who was the president at the time. Real dipshit.
This is an interesting thing that happened to me today. I work at a coffee shop, and when someone like puts their credit card into our little machine, their name pops up for a second, and like as like a name for the ticket, and someone's name was James Buchanan II, and I was like, hell yes, and I did not say anything to him about it because I would have been like,
how?
Like how, number one, so
you could have just said James Buchanan, right?
James Buchanan was the last president. He was the 15th president, the one before Lincoln.
Real dog shit president.
One of the main factors as to why the Civil War happened, primarily because he would not grow a spine and tell the South they could not secede, or as they started seceding, he was kind of like.
It was all the presidents of the time. I mean, Pierce included. All the presidents of the time were like Bleeding Kansas and the Missouri Compromise and like all the shit that was leading up. The presidents were just like, I don't know, you guys will probably work it out. And it's like, well, yeah, they're gonna, but it's gonna be a civil war. Like they're gonna work it out, but they're gonna work it out via war. Maybe you should do something. And like 10 presidents in a row were like, they'll work it out. Like, okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah, James Buchanan was like the one where people were actively seceding, and the Supreme Court was like, "You can't do this," and James was like, "Well,
I mean, but they are.
It's fine."
Dog shit, president.
James Buchanan was a bad president. Next to probably Warren Harding, probably regarded as one of the worst presidents.
Not Warren Harding.
What'd I say? Yeah, Warren Harding. What's his name?
Is it Warren Harding?
The guy from the Teapot Dome scandal. Isn't it Warren G. Harding?
Oh, maybe it is Warren G. Harding.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, never mind. I was thinking that was like the name of a building at Western. No, Harding Place is a neighborhood. Harding Place is a street in Nashville, and I was thinking, no, Harding is like a famous person in our real life. Nope, sorry.
Yeah.
Warren G. Harding, yes, correct.
Yeah, Warren G. Harding, also bad bloke, but James Buchanan is like consistently listed as like the worst presidents. Oh, and also Obama. Obama is also the worst president. So, because, I mean, I just hear it on the internet a lot that Obama's the worst president.
I was like, no. Fillmore and Pierce.
It's just like
and Taylor,
literally anybody who's
all...
anybody who's like, I mean, there's a case for our former president. I think that he's
our big wet boy. He's probably the stupidest.
He was putting some numbers on the board.
He is probably the like genuinely stupidest person who's ever been the president. But he is absolutely not the worst president just because he ended up not causing a war.
Yeah, I would say like in the history, it's just like people will probably say something along the lines of, and I hope I don't alienate our audience, but if I am alienating the audience, this is not the show for you.
They would have dropped out way before episode 78 or whatever.
So it's historians will probably in the future be like, it's a really good thing that he was kind of incompetent. It's
like the Hitler thing, where it's like
it's a really good thing that it turns out that he was like a totally like could not get his shit together.
Focus for 15 seconds. Yeah, that was actually super helpful. Well, that thing they say about Hitler, where it's like, because we've talked about ad nauseum about whether or not you should kill baby Hitler, And I think the consensus
Mhm.
that both of us have come to is, well, fascism was going to happen either way. I'm
Yeah.
glad it was a
Which if you
meth head
that's
art
like
student instead of like a competent general.
yeah. We have talked about this in the show, but yeah, to revisit that, it like if you think that like, and I don't know a lot, like if our audience thinks that Hitler was the type of person who was like from like another planet who was like not representative of the ideals of a people, that is like completely wrong. It was like it was brewed
at all.
yeah, it was brewed in the oven, and fortunately for history, as you said, Sam, Hitler was a art school meth head dropout.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh well, actually that's
real dumb piece of shit. Well, that was the thing. If it wasn't for meth, they couldn't have done the Blitzkrieg. Like literally, it was just a war powered by meth. Like they would just get hopped up on meth, Blitzkrieg for like 3 days, and then win because nobody could do that because they weren't all hopped up on meth. Like, I'm not kidding when I say methamphetamine is what gave the Third Reich their power. And Hitler was on a number of drugs, uppers and downers, all of the time. And that's why, like, the Battle of the Bulge, like, once the Allied powers kind of figured it out and, like, figured out how to, like, resist the Blitzkrieg, it all fell apart because it was like, oh, that's our one move. Our one move is get really high and shoot at you.
Yeah, it is like when you're going into a fight and your one and only move is to swing both of your arms around like windmill style as fast as you can.
It seems like it should work, but it really doesn't, guys.
Yeah, and the thing is though, if you started a bunch of fights just windmilling into it, you'll probably win the first couple.
Well, it's like
because you just are not ready for it, because it's like, especially if it's unprovoked, like it's a fight, all of a sudden someone starts windmilling at you.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh shit, and then like you're gonna get hit a bunch.
Unprovoked.
But yeah, no.
It's like if you sucker punched people and like, but you had a really good sucker punch. And you were like knocking them out. It's like, well, yeah, you won. But the minute someone's like ready, you can't you don't have a second punch. Like in this example, you don't have a second punch. So yeah, I think our big wet boy is like similar in that way, where it's like, yeah, he was like an insane person. I mean, he certainly I don't think he had the ideology to be a fascist, but he certainly had fascists in his cabinet. Stephen Miller is a fucking Nazi. But yeah, he couldn't pay attention long enough to actually do anything bad, which again does not make him super different from our other terrible presidents. I'm just saying by a stroke of luck, we didn't like start a war with Iran or China or something. So like, he's not one of the worst presidents. Probably the stupidest, but like, not one of the worst.
But yeah, the reflection of the Obama joke was like anyone that's like, whatever modern president's the worst president is like a fast hand away of me going like, oh, you don't know that much.
You don't. No, I remember a guy telling me that it was during the Obama's presidency, and he wasn't really talking to me. It was we were like standing in a circle at church, and he was like, Obama is the worst president in history, and like I had the not peace of mind. Whatever. I had the like moment to think and be like, maybe don't talk to him about this. And I didn't. And I was just like, cool. And I just like walked away and like was like, I'll let you guys have this conversation. But it's like, do you know anything about anything? Obama's not the best president.
Yeah,
but
but that's a very good part, like place to say something like, it's like, Obama's the worst president. You say something like, yeah,
name the next 5 worst presidents.
Or you say something along the lines like, like I really still think it's Warren G. Harding, and then be like with straight face, like, and I can tell you why. Right. Like I'm not just pulling that out of my ass.
Well, no, that would be the thing. It's like, cool. Now rank number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 of the worst presidents, because it'd be like, I actually Obama, don't have any kind of
Clinton.
Right. They can only name 6 presidents, and like half of them are Republicans.
And Jimmy Carter.
Right.
That's my lowest 3.
Yeah, it would be Obama, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Jimmy
for some
Carter.
reason. Oh, and Joe. Oh no, I'm sorry. We're both as stupid as all get out. Joe Biden's the worst.
Well, no, I mean this is at the time. This is during the Obama presidency.
Oh yeah. So he didn't have that out yet.
He didn't have Skeletor Joe to criticize yet. But yeah, it's stupid if they don't start a war on. I mean, Bush is a far worse president than Trump, obviously, because of those two wars that are still happening currently. Like, obviously a worse president. Now, you could, hey, I'll listen to an argument that Bush is in the top 10 worst presidents in history. I'll take that. But Trump is not one of the worst presidents in American history, just because he just didn't do that much. I mean, he's embarrassing. He's impolite, but that's not really the kind of thing that messes with my sensibilities.
He's impolite. He tells it like it is.
Now, he did do the camps. The camps were really fucking bad.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. That's a bit of a geopolitical no-no. Yeah. But I mean, in the modern day, what president has not had a geopolitical no-no?
No, I know. I mean, you know, Obama triple tapped that wedding. So like but yeah, you don't start a war, you're not going to be in the war. You know, you're not one of the Civil War presidents who were all fucking, or the lead up to the Civil War, who were all fucking garbage. You didn't drop the bomb. Did you know that? I don't totally have this fact checked, but I believe I read somewhere that we knew Japan was going to surrender before we dropped the atomic bombs.
I think it was something along the lines of, and now once again, I'm pulling this from.
I'm just saying that puts Truman pretty high on the worst presidents list.
I'm putting this kind of tertiarily. I think it was something along the lines of Japan was starting to do things that were a bit like insano beans. So like stuff like the kamikaze warfare, which happens towards the end, as well as just like, you know, kind of doing their own sort of Battle of the Bulge thing.
But I believe they were like, this is what I had read, was that they were ready to surrender. And we knew they were going to surrender, but we dropped the bomb anyway. I might be wrong. Please do your own fact checking. I'm like 80% sure about this. But if that is true, that we dropped 2 atomic bombs knowing they were going to surrender anyway, that puts Truman at least in the top 10 of worst presidents in history.
And the S in Harry S. Truman doesn't stand for anything.
Oh, that's cool, though.
Yeah. This is breaking news, Sam. I'm rich, and so I'm quitting the podcast.
Uh-oh. What happened?
And
that concludes our segment. What is it? APAB? All presidents are bad.
About a month or so ago, I invested in Dogecoin.
So did I. We did it
because I thought, so we're both quitting the podcast because we're both rich.
I have 300
Oh my
Dogecoin.
gosh,
How much
dude!
money do I have?
Yes, please check in on the Dogecoin. Yes, precisely.
I have 300 of these bad boys. I now have $80. From the $12 I put in.
Yes, so it is. I put in a fair bit more than that. Mostly as a joke.
Yeah, we did it on the show. I walked you through how to get Robinhood.
Oh, right. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of an update to that.
How many Dogecoin did you buy?
I bought 2,000 Dogecoins.
Holy shit! Good for you.
Yeah, exactly. So
and I bet it cost you like $35.
Well, yeah, it cost me $118.
Damn.
So for those like Doge, this is kind of a continuation of the bit we did about the Stonks boys.
But now you have what, $200?
I think it's like 400 or something like that. But I don't want to be tacky.
You're right. We can talk offline.
So the reason why I'm saying this is because this yet again is putting me in the mindset that money is fake and,
of course.
and nothing has value, because why did this go? Like, I'm looking at this like this amount, and it might as well be like money I have in like Grand Theft Auto. Like, this is fake.
Yeah,
like, I'm looking at this and being like,
this is World of Warcraft coin.
Yeah, this is like fake. like very eventually it will just like blip out of reality, and I'll go, oh yeah, that makes sense because I stopped playing that game. Like my World of Warcraft money doesn't follow me over into the real world.
My Steam wallet is now empty.
Yeah, so this could feasibly go up forever, and I would just be like, "Oh yeah, like fake money. What are you gonna do?"
That's cool.
Yeah,
thanks for the update.
That is absolutely ridiculous. So yes, Dogecoin stocks went up I think Sam and I got it when it was in the neighborhood of like 6 cents. Like it was valued at like 5 or 6 cents, and now it is valued at like 27 cents.
I will say that I spent, whatever the math is, I spent $12 and I got 300 Dogecoin. So it may have been 6 cents each.
Yeah, something like
That's
that.
not $20. Is it really?
I don't know.
I just looked at it. I have $80, so it can't be worth $20. Because then I would actually have some real money. No, it's 27 cents. Is that what you said? Maybe that's what you said.
I think it must be like 27 cents, something around there.
27 cents. Damn, this is going to be this is going to be like a wild turn if we finally get our bag and it's like this week's episode is sponsored by my own fucking Dogecoin.
This is sponsored by me being rich.
Me being rich in the stupidest way possible.
Yeah. No, I'm looking at Twitter now and I'm seeing people had put in somewhere in the neighborhood of like $100,000 into this.
Wow.
And now they're just like, eat my ass.
Wait a minute. Okay, wait, but that's not. They had $100,000.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand
so it's
that
like,
story.
Yeah, they had 100.
That's not like an underdog story. You had $100,000.
Yeah, it's somebody that's like, damn, I I risked it all, and now and because of the $100,000 I put in of disposable income that I had,
right.
I'm now even way richer than I was before.
Yeah.
Shout out to me.
If I cashed out at $100,000, it would change my life forever. Like if my end was $100,000 minus $12, I would be like, oh, and this is what changed my life forever and put me in a different socioeconomic class, for the rest of my life. Not like I started with 100,000 and I'm just fucking around, but
yeah. That is that truly is like every once in a while I'll be watching like a game show and then it's like there's this game show called The Hustler, recommendation station, The Hustler. It's on ABC.
Never heard that one.
It's just like a silly game show, but it's so there's this thing where in the mechanics of the game you can like bet your money and
people are so stupid on game shows. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, like the prize goes up somewhere in the neighborhood of like, it'll get to like $120,000. And then it's like, okay, well, like basically like they put in a situation where it's like either you lose, like you keep it, lose all of it, or like get 60,000. And they'll both kind of all look at each other and kind of go like, well, we have to keep all of it. And it's just like, it's 60,000. Like you're like that is still going to change your life. But they're just like,
you could pay off all of your student loans.
They're just like,
tomorrow.
all right. We are not. We're not going to take less than $120,000. That's for fucking sure.
See, that's the thing is you have to set a baseline. You have to before you walk into the show, whether it's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or whatever. Before you walk into the show, you have to set a baseline that says, all right, at this amount, I will not risk more. If it's not a risk and I can just keep going, then I'm going to go. But if as soon as they say this or you risk it, I have to set a baseline. The thing is, for me, that baseline is like $15,000.
This is like gambling 101. Yeah.
It's like $15,000. Like I'm looking at my student loan balance and I'm like, oh, well, my federal loans is X and my state loans are X. And and my car loan is if I could pay off any one of those with those winnings, so like, $7,000, cool. I'm out, actually. I'm out at $7,000. I answered one question on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And I'm fucking out because now I don't have a car debt
Gone.
anymore.
Goodbye. Yes. Like later.
Now the perfect game show, of course.
Listen, I got the daily double and I am out of here, Alex. Goodbye.
Yeah, dude, like I can't again, $10,000, I'm just like, bruh, that is, but you could win. Yeah, but I could also lose $10,000 and $10,000 could like dramatically change my life. If I just
it's like they like the people in this show, like once like you have the like, it's not real. Like it's all theoretical money in front of you in this game show. But like once you put the option of that up there, they're just like, all right, cool. So like,
that's what I'm saying. You got to just
either 120,000 or it's an abject failure.
No, you just have to have a hard baseline. So we my friends and I have recently started playing this game Pigs, which is basically craps, but it's pigs. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Forget the fact that they're pigs. Let's just say they're dice.
Is it Pass the Pigs?
No. It's like craps. So basically,
Dude, I love Pass
you
the
roll
Pigs.
these
How much-
little
how much is
pigs,
Pass the
and
Pigs on
they
Amazon?
fall in a certain way, and based on how they fall, you get points. So let's set that aside for a second and say they're dice.
That's Pass the Pigs, right?
I don't know.
Like you had these tiny little pigs, and you like toss them, and if they like one lands on its back, that's 1 point, and if it lands like on its snout, that's like 3 points.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We've never called it Pass the Pigs.
Okay, I played that at a dinner party once in England, and I was just like, "This is my life, huh?"
Well, it's a lot of fun. Anyway, we play it.
No, yeah, it's no. I will say this: it's the shit.
It's a great time. But imagine they're dice. So you roll it, and you get a 1 and a 2, and you get 3 points. But if you get a snake eyes, or if you get any pair of doubles or whatever, then you lose all your points. And so it's a gambling game where you try to rack up as many points as you want, but then you can lock in at a certain score. If you get above 100 and you lock in, that's the last round, and everyone has one chance to beat your score at above 100. So if you lock in at 103 and I get 104, I win, right? But if you keep if you get up to 127 and everybody gets to 85 or 117, they don't. So it's a gambling game. See me? Now my wife has
See me? I'm on some new shit. I'm on some.
So my wife routinely will end the game with 0 points because she will just keep keep going. She'll get up to 60 points and be like, another one, and then pig out and lose all her points. See me? I go in groups of 10. If the first roll, I get 15 points, I'm like, cool, lock it in, move around. And then the next one, I get to 25, I'm like, great. Now, obviously, if I'm at 28, like I'm going to go for in the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I'm just like, and I do pretty well. Like I just chonk up that board and I never lose any points because it's like, well, look, I'm just going 10 at a time. That is how it would be on a game show where it's like, I would rather walk away with 10,000 than nothing because obviously, would I rather walk away with 10,000 or 100,000? Of course I'd want 100,000. But when I'm doing the bet, when I'm like, all right, the amount of loss I would feel from walking away with 0 versus the satisfaction of 10 versus the satisfaction of 100, the loss of 0 outweighs the satisfaction of 100. Because there's also, I'm doing the odds of, but can I win 100? If I've got 10 locked in, like, yeah, I could win 100. But if I walk away with 0, that's going to be a lot worse.
Yeah.
I'm just going to lock in at 10, get out of here.
We should go. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, we should go gambling. We should do some
gambling. Well, so what you got to do, but here's the thing, that's different. When you're gambling, you walk in with $100.
Walking into the Mirage in Vegas, being like, "See me?
See me?" I walk in with $100 and say, "I'm gonna leave with $0, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun." And I just show up with $100 and be like, "This, it's like my movie ticket. It's $1,000. It's $100 movie ticket." I don't expect to walk out of the movie theater with more money. I expect to spend my money on an experience that I enjoy. Yeah. If I walk into the casino, it's just a very expensive movie ticket. I got $100. I'm gonna blow $100.
That is exactly what happened when I went to the racetrack. It was just like, I had like $50, and it was just like I lost every last one of those damn dollars.
You didn't lose it. You spent it.
That's true. You're right. You're right. That's the see me.
I'm gonna spend $100, not lose $100. It's just
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. This is about changing your mind. You gotta perceive things different.
I'm just saying, like, it's a very expensive movie ticket. It's just like, all right, it cost $100 to go to the casino, and you're gonna have a lot of fun for a couple of hours. Although slots are a waste of your time because you're just gonna blow your. I mean, you're gonna run through that money really fast. The poker games, I think, are more fun for me because that actually you can play for longer.
See me?
I want to play a game that I can actually like.
I play the card games. You stay away from the slots.
That is what I actually do at a casino because at the slots it's just so fast, and it's like, well, I don't want to be here for 20 minutes and lose $100, or spend $100. I want to spend $100 and be here for like 3.5 hours and like have the excitement of like oh, maybe I can win. I know I'm just going to play till I'm out of money. But winning hands and stuff, like I'm not going to win anything at the jackpot or on the slots. I'm never going to win anything at the slots. But I could win a hand of poker. Like, so, either way, I walk out with $0. But poker, it's going to take a lot longer. It's a lot more fun. There's highs and lows. You can win a lot more often. And again, winning just means elongating the amount of time you're there. Because you're always going to lose every slot, basically. But if you're winning a couple hands, well, then what you do is you take those hands and you invest them back in the poker game and you keep playing until you're out of money. And again, that's what you knew when you signed up.
You knew what it was.
You knew what you were doing. You were going to lose. You were going to spend $100, and that's what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Man, that is so. But anyway, that doesn't really matter to me as much anymore.
But it's part of being normal this summer, and not talking about the CIA, but instead
that's true.
Just going and gambling and drinking and smoking cigars. That's what you should do.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I was just gonna say that I'm actually super rich now. So
that's true. I should pull out now with my $80.
No, you have to wait till it's a unit. I mean, yeah, I guess you should wait till it's a unit of 100 and then cash out.
The thing is, I've seen you look at the Bitcoin thing and it's over 15 years it went from 6 cents to $19,000, and I'm like, I got 6 years. What do I gotta
true.
keep? I gotta keep Robinhood on my phone?
That's literally how I'm treating it. It's just I'm gonna keep this in a fake money thing, and it's if it keeps valuing up, then I am not losing anything from this.
Yeah, these are World of Warcraft coins until I hit a denomination of money that could pay off all my federal loans, and then I'm
$7,000. You're just listen,
I got fucking bills, dude. Goodbye. I'll just cash out. Because again, I don't want to do that gamble. I don't want to do that thing where it's at 19,000. I'm like, but what if it's 100? Nope. Because I have 300 Dogecoin, so at $19,000, I got a lot of fucking money. I'm out. I'm out. I'm gonna be one of those first people that they're like, no, you need to hold to the moon, and I'm like, fuck you, dude. I got bills. But I will not think twice about this.
Goodbye.
They can pay off a whole,
fuck the moon.
I can delete a website from my favorites because I never have to go back to that loan company again. So actually, I'm fucking good.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, that's our show. Thank you all so much for coming to Get Better. If you want to find more of our stuff, you can find us on Instagram at Get Better Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, also at Get Better Podcast, where we have our full episodes as well as clips you can send around. If you're listening to us on Spotify, please continue to do so. There isn't really a metric with which you can rate us, but just keep listening. Huh?
So they just updated their whole shit.
Oh, really?
Look, listeners, go to meetthefuckers2 at fuckedup@gmail.com and let me know if I'm wrong.
So what I was also going to say there was you can also reach us at meetthefuckers2 fuckedup@gmail.com.
So
that's meetthefuckers2 fuckedup@gmail.com.
That's us. They've updated their whole UI. Here are the two things they've done for podcasts that is fucking wild.
Better.
One, as far as I can tell, maybe I'm wrong.
That's us.
But they've gotten rid of the button that lets you filter by unplayed episodes, which sucks. Because if you've listened to 60% of a podcast and you want to scroll down to the newest episodes you haven't heard yet, as far as I can tell, I can't figure out how to filter out all your played episodes already. Number two, it will make a queue. Now, if you were just listening to music, that would be no problem because it would just either go through the album, but it would just kind of play music semi-randomly. If you're listening to a podcast in order, like you should listen to ours, that's insane. Where you're on episode 3 and then you're on episode 55 because it just sort of by popularity shuffles the podcast around. It makes me very angry, and I have no other medium. I have no other platform to talk about this. But I listen to, as you all know, an obscene amount of podcasts, and the fact that now they're all out of order and I can't get rid of the ones I've already listened to drives me crazy for the last 3 days. So go to our show on there and listen to it, but also be mad at Spotify. So maybe go to iTunes instead and leave us a review.
Wow, this is the most you've ever been involved in the outro, and I'm here for it.
I'm really mad at Spotify. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I've had to start making a queue and clicking no, I want episode 10, and then I want episode 11, and then surprise, I want episode 12 after that. It's been driving me
It's
crazy.
So I think we covered the Instagram, YouTube, the Spotify, as well as the email and the iTunes. So that's all I have. So see you guys next week.
All right.
All right.
See you. Bye forever.
See you. Bye forever.